Right now what your boy is holding is the Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma controller. It looks nice, but is it worth the cost that they're charging you? I think it's twice, my friend. Once you open the box, you're greeted with a very nice looking controller. Once you lift that controller up, you see some nice looking thumbsticks that are very easily replaceable, which makes it nice. And you know me, I enjoy that kind of like toy functionality. Then you also have your instruction manual and the USB cable, of which is I think about 6 feet long. So it's a pretty long cable. It really gives you distance, and as you know, this controller must be wired. Now let's get into the controller. Now there's been multiple generations of this controller, and I'll be honest, I haven't tried the first two. I will just be reviewing this one based off what I've experienced with this one. I am not a fan at all of the back paddles of the controller. Look at it. I mean, this is not where you would want your controller paddles to be. I mean, I don't know why you would even experiment with this. When you hold a controller, your pinky, ring, and middle fingers are just going to rest naturally here. They won't come all the way out here like this. And now, when you put the paddles here, I have to kind of extend. So it's almost like having to play claw, which again, they remind you of with the top triggers here. Very weird placement. I can't imagine myself going, ooh. You see how my hands are now very strained to do so many different things. It's like I can literally feel it in my forearms. It definitely becomes a workout. Not a fan of that at all. Now the grip and feel of the controller is nice. I do like it. Along with the RGB of the controller, it definitely does look nice. Not the best RGB I've ever seen though, but it's not a bad touch at all. Then we also have the trigger stops. The trigger stops are right here. So when you flick them, now we have full, you see? Then you sting it, half. So the trigger stops are cool. Not the best trigger stops I've ever seen, but they're nice, they do the job. The feel of the controller, the buttons, maybe you'll hear it. The buttons and everything, I gotta say, feels great. I actually love the feel of every button and press, but the buttons are a little tough to press. Like the buttons and the joysticks are just a little tougher to move and a little tougher to press. But personally, I like it. I don't know why, but it makes me press and move with more purpose. I couldn't tell you. The same thing with the D-pad. It just feels better to me. It may not be for you, but I like it, and I can only tell you what I like. And it's funny because as much as I'm kind of ragging on this controller, this could very well end up being my most favorite controller to play with, just because of how it feels. I love it. I love it. I changed the thumbstick already, so my thumbstick is just a little higher, and you know, I love what I'm feeling. The thumbsticks, the buttons. It feels very nice to press and move everything on the controller. I really do enjoy it. It's just the paddles is what's really killing me. If I choose not to play paddles, I might pick up this controller. This is probably going to be the one that I play with. But if I need something with paddles, this is the last controller I'm going to choose. It doesn't make any sense at all. Also, with it being wired, I don't mind a wired controller. A wired controller is not bad to me. It's just in 2021, now going to 2022, how companies are still making controllers that are only wired boggles my mind. You should always have a wireless version to any controller that you make, in my opinion. I don't make these controllers, so I don't really know how it, really goes down. And maybe one of these days I'll learn. If you guys know in the comments, let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, to not have a wireless version doesn't make too much sense to me at this stage in humanity. Then you have this thing called clutch sensitivity, which is kind of cool in theory, but it would be interesting to see it get used in practice. I had a hard time trying it out myself. All clutch sensitivity does is that by default you can hold one or both of these buttons, both of which are customizable. You can switch clutch sensitivity to any other button on your controller, but by default they're mapped to these two buttons, and all you have to do is press these buttons, and in a second you'll be able to switch the sensitivity of the movement on your joysticks. So in theory, I guess if maybe you were playing a video game like a shooter and you picked up a sniper rifle, now in a split second you can hold down clutch sensitivity and drop your sensitivity to a slow rifle when you're about to blast away your op, which is kind of cool in theory, but games like Call of Duty have had that like in game for a while now. You know, you can literally mount the gun or hold down the right stick to slow down the movement and the sway of a sniper rifle and other guns. So you know, it's kind of cool. Like in theory, I'm sure someone can find use for this feature, but for me it just seems a little gimmicky. Now they also have an app that allows you to customize your controller a little bit more, so once you plug it into the PC you can really get swifty with it, and that's what we're about to do. Okay, so you're going to come over here to Razer.com, console controllers, Razer Wolverine V2 Chroma. Then you're just going to scroll down here. They'll show you where you can get the app. So you know, you're going to click download. Now you don't actually need this app. This controller is very plug and play. I was able to get into many games before ever really downloading this, so this is just another extension, if you will. You can try it out if you'd like, but you don't need it. I'm getting it here for the first time on camera with you guys, so that's just what happens when you come to a Chukavelli video. You get everything. Now again, it's funny because these Xbox things never really get too great of ratings, but these are the apps here for us to use somehow, some way, to have a better experience. And right here you see that there are a lot of negative reviews. Again, you really do not need it. It's meant to be helpful, and for some people it is, for others it isn't. It also kind of depends on the controller you have. So we're going to give this a shot anyway. Now we're going to click open. See, we're booting it up. So here we are. We're about to customize our controller. It's going to be a nice little run through. As you know, as you can see, I have the controller wired up right here, right now. Let's go to lighting, which is going to be nice. So right now you see the brightness is at a 10. But if I take it down to a 1, you see the brightness is going to be a less. So brightness is a little less. You see, maybe you can see the difference. There's also ways that you can enjoy the lighting, right? So different colors. So right now I have it on green, but if I chose orange, and for those who don't know, orange is actually my favorite color. So there's orange, then you could choose red. See, red. And so you can really have a bit of fun with it. So here we have the sensitivity clutch that I was talking about. You see, it's very free until I click M5 and M6, and now you can see it's shrunk down. Let's click just M6. You can see the same thing here. The other one will be fine, but see, it's going to be a little different if I click M5. See, so you can also adjust the shrink. So now my left thumbstick is going to move much tighter when I click that M5 button, you see? So it's kind of cool, again, in theory, but I can't imagine myself using this mid-game instead of just slowing down my shot. I mean, again, like I said, a little gimmicky. So we have the vibration, which is haptic motors and everything. Now, this is just the regular kind of stuff that you can expect from pretty much a majority of controllers, just the vibration that we've had for about, I think, more than a decade now. It's nothing like the PS5 haptic triggers or anything. It's just a motor right in the grip, so nothing special there, but you can also adjust the sensitivity. And here you have the assigned buttons and what everything is defaulted to. And now let's go check out the dead zone. Obviously, here you can adjust the dead zone. See how you can really customize this thing to your liking. Generally speaking, you may never need to download this app because, again, this controller at its core is very plug and play. I was able to get into a game well before ever trying this setup, so letting you know. Now, my overall rating for this controller. Honestly, with the price tag coming in at $150, on a scale of 1 to 10, I have to give this thing a 6. For $150, you get paddles that you're most likely never going to try to use. If you use it, please send me a video of you doing so. I can't imagine. But the paddles, weird. Then the extra triggers up top, weird. You know, the RGB is okay. Like, I mean, I do like it. I do like the RGB, but again, very okay. In order to customize it, you need some extra app. I do love the feel of the buttons. They're a little tough. You really got to push them a little harder, but I do like them. It makes me feel good. You only get 2 extra thumbsticks. Nothing else about this is changeable. It's not like you take off the faceplate. It's not like you could take off the D-pad or anything. You know, it's okay. It's an okay controller. I would never recommend this controller to anyone who doesn't have $150 to blow. Like, this isn't that great. And the software itself that helps you run the controller even better, or is supposed to run the controller better. Does an okay job. I wasn't wowed by it. It was okay. It also has the functionality of the clutch sensitivity thing, which again in theory is cool, but I can't really imagine myself, because of where it's placed, you know, reaching over, doing all that extraness. And even then, it's interesting. I personally will give it more of a try, but I'm not even that much into shooters to begin with, besides Apex Legends, and even then I can't imagine the pro of it. But anyway, that's my review of the controller. Let me know what you thought about it. Was I right? Was I wrong? Did I miss out on any information? Is there anything that you'd like to add to the conversation? I really appreciate it, and remember to like and subscribe. It always takes me to a higher level. Check out this review that I did of the Xbox Elite Series 2 controller. It was just as in-depth as this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I made a difference in your day. Chukavelli out. Peace.